Millpost is, well, it's a property that's been going for about since the 1860s at least, and the Watson family have been here since the 1920s. So a long European occupation here with sheep farming and grazing and crop growing here. And it's nestled in the range between Bungendore and Queanbeyan, Canberra being the other side, Cowan Forest just to our south here. Life goes on here as an active and ongoing sheep farm, fourth generation, the Watson family working here.
Well, for many years I've been trying to find out more about the history of Millpost. And so finding this stone axe quarry on the farm has been a wonderful opportunity to learn more about the Aboriginal history and knowing more about what has gone on here before, that this farm sustained generations of people before us, that enriches my life.
This location here, we've got a outcrop of basalt, basically, or of dolerite, a metadolerite, which is, like a gold mine to Aboriginal peoples. It's the key stone and very suitable for making stone axes. It's an axe quarry site, a stone quarry site that has had been used for thousands of years. This is your local Bunnings store for the Canberra and surrounds region. This site would have had an Aboriginal name, been a known source for people to come to trade, to exchange for the axes. The Ngambri Ngunnawal peoples have gone and ground the axes down to make ground edge axes, and no doubt exchanged and traded them throughout the regions, throughout Canberra, north, south, east and west. What's particularly exciting about this site is that it's one site that is rare in this region. Stone axes around the country are one of the most prized tools. So to have a source and be the custodians of it was a lucky break to have in your area. Otherwise you'd have to travel to the other known sources, maybe hundreds of kilometres away, to obtain your stone.
There's always something in that lounge.
Well, I've lived most of my life with hardly knowing any Aboriginal people for a start, and wanted to, but haven't. This has just been a happy, natural introduction that's just so far been full of joy, and it's been very exciting.
I'll Google it.
We haven't got very well. You'll find all sorts of things.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, buddy.
There's quite a few properties called Millpost.
It's been collected from the quarry, brought down, ground here in the various creeks. I haven't found any axe grooves yet, but we know they're here. But I don't see axes, little tiny tomahawk like that. We have big, heavy things to cut wood.
It's nice you've got the axe blanks, and you've got these massive great flakes as well, and the polished axes as well.
Yeah.
So you've got all stages of the process.
I've never seen it before like this. What do you think of this? I've not seen one like that.
Look at that one, Arnold.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I've never.
But I mean, not here.
No, not here.
Wow.
That's fine.
Well, Dave had offered to come here and have a look around, which we welcomed, and I naturally thought I would take him to this site because I had suspected that there might be something significant about the site from an Aboriginal point of view. It's a beautiful part of the landscape. It's positioned in the landscape where you get a commanding view of the property. To me, it felt like a special place.
Dave got very excited.
It wasn't long before he was claiming it was the most exciting archaeological find in our district for 30 years.
This is the source. You can see with the quality of this stone, and you can see this is the raw stone. You can see this has been flaked off, and before or after, it's had many flakes been chipping. You can imagine how hard basalt is to break. So there's been huge, big basalt hammer stones to break this. And this is being made into a preform, which could then be taken down to the sandstone creeks and ground down with water to make, as they say, 3 days to make a ground edge axe, which could then be hafted onto a blank of wood to make a heavy duty axe for cutting wood, cutting out your coolamans, your wood bowls, and for various other purposes. The custodians, the Ngunnawal Ngambri custodians of this site, this area, would have been known and famed at the Bogong Moth ceremony. They would have had the axes that everyone wanted, without doubt. And people from the south coast and other areas, when they came for the Bogong Moth ceremony for exchange and marriage purposes and initiation ceremonies, these would have been one of the key features as the finished axe or as the axe blanks. To have the rare opportunity to have a non-Indigenous family, property owner, open their property and share it with the local traditional owners in a spirit of reconciliation both ways is exciting, and to have it recognised and to be listed on the New South Wales State Aboriginal Place Register is an exciting outcome. Importantly, the local property owners are aware that their property isn't going to be taken away by native title claims. There's no tenure change.
It's probably only half an acre in extent. Well, it's 1,100 hectares, so this is 0.1 of 1%, less than that. It's a tiny part of the farm. So I can't see that it's going to impinge on the management. At this stage, it's all positive and what's not to like.
We hope this partnership that's occurring here can sort of maybe encourage other property owners to get to know their local Aboriginal group, or if they have known sites, to share that and to look after those important places.
Over the years, David and I both felt that Millpost is a very special place and we needed to share it more with people. It's hard for them to see their country, spending time on their country. And it's such a small thing really for us, and possibly, you know, a big thing for them. One thing that makes me happy is that our children are very positive about this development. Yeah, they don't seem to have any reservations at all, which is really great.
There's also the I guess a wish to acknowledge the existence of people in this landscape before we came here. Absolutely, it's precious to us. Yeah, something we would want to protect. I understand that fear exists amongst other landholders, and I think that's a shame. I think that there's a lot more of this kind of stuff to be found on private land, and hopefully this process will allow others to see that there's nothing to fear and a lot to be gained.
I was a bit excited about it all the way along. I liked what I seen, and I like what's going on with the farmer, with Aboriginal people and people trying to come together, and it's really something that a lot of people like me and James don't even see about people being friendly, you know what I mean? Like about what's here and in the way that what's going on.
You get a lot of people that doesn't look after Aboriginal stuff like these fellas here are. And it's good that people that live here is protecting it and looking after the stuff too.
I'm quite chuffed about the fact that there are people out there that are showing interest in learning about the first culture that occupied the area as well. So, you know, it's something that a lot of people for a long time were scared of because of, you know, government legislation in relation to things like native title have sort of put the frightness on a lot of people about, you know, like, oh, if there's an Aboriginal site on my property, they're going to take the whole property sort of thing. And to us, it's about recognition.
I could see it when I was standing there, and it was just looked so beautiful, that outcrop. And now David, Judith and the family are so proud to have that, and they're blessed. just like I was that day.
It's quite good, so if we just isolate it just to that part there.
Yep.
Well, it's quite unique in this case because we don't normally have Aboriginal places on private land. So this is a very unique nomination in the fact that community and private landowners have come together to ensure that the place is recognised for its significance.
There is draining down to the...
Like if we got people like the Watsons that'd look after the Aboriginal stuff, what they've got on their property, and if the other people like that on the other farms do the same things, then it'd be good for
us and make us feel proud of who we are. For this sort of thing to go on today, it makes me feel really good.
As I said before, we feel this is a pretty special place. It's a wonderful place to walk. We're hoping that other people will be able to share that pleasure too, and that it will have a, possibly a deeper meaning for them than it does for us.